Okay, sanibonani South Africans, bongani again. My interest is end times, so and nokuzama ukubuka izinto ezenzakalayo on a daily basis with reference to what we have understood as what is expected to happen ngama end times. Wonke umuntu oyikholwa ufanele azi ukuthi kuza umbuso ka-666 antichrist. Baningi o-antichrist, so we're not going to go through what an antichrist is and the ultimate antichrist that we are waiting for. Antichrists have been with us for the previous 2,000 years, but we are all waiting for the final antichrist. So it goes without saying, the arrival of the Antichrist is preceded by events which makes his advent to be and enable him to be able to rule the world. So izinto ke sizibonile ukuthi zilekelela u-Antichrist ukuthi abuse umhlaba into njenge-United Nations nama-NGOs amaningi, liberalism, socialism, communism, and the greedy version of capitalism. Anyway, there are many isms which are rather preparing the stage for the advent of the Antichrist. So that's not exactly the topic. The topic is the National Christian March, which is planned for the 8th October 2025. So now, la ithi umbhalo wakhona remove Thoko Mkhwanazi Xaluva as CRL chairperson now. Xaluva must go. The group that I do not know, they are called South African Church Defenders. How did I get to know about them? It's because of a WhatsApp message that we receive. I got it from my mother via our church, MEXA, Mahon Evangelical Church of Southern Africa, which was known as Mahon Mission Church. So that's how I got to see the video. All right. So now it shows Mam Togo Xaluva. It's the first time that I know she's a Mkhwanazi. I thought she is a Xaluva. So, all right. All right. So the National Christian March to 8th, you know, immediately you see this, which I do endorse, and which is also endorsed by the sign of how far we are from godliness as in our politics as so-called Christians of South Africa, and that sign is the African Christian Democratic Party, ACDP, which is basically more like a test of how much of hypocrisy rules in South Africa or in the South African church. ACDP advocates Christian values. Outscore them 99% in that regard. You would have expected ACDP to have great support from us Christians, but obviously, like I say, the level of hypocrisy in us as Christians is seen in the little votes that the ACDP receive. White Christians vote for the DA for white interests, not for church interests. They couldn't care a foot about the sufferings of black Christians via white capital aggression and oppression. Black Christians are voting for the ANC on the basis of the ANC is a black organization. I don't know when is the ANC black, because I am yet to see where it advocates interests of black South Africans instead of interests of the New World Order, which both the ANC and the DA stand for, and their other subsidiaries. So South African Church Defender says remove Mthoko Xaluva. Already that is just showing you ukuthi abazalwane abayithandele ANC laba, which is like they still in denial more than 30 years later, or more than since 1985, ukuthi the ANC is a church hating or Christian hating New World Order political entity that was sent to South Africa to attack the church and traditional values of black South Africans, that is Ubuntu values. The ANC has got nothing to do with us as black indigenous South Africans first and foremost. I would say they hate us basically. So what you are saying, remove Togom Kwanazi, Kaluva, CRL chairperson, you are either saying you are that ignorant as a Christian to actually not see Oguti the actual issues that are faced by the church, which are being presented by Omamto Kaluvage. They are exactly the same agenda by white liberals international. So therefore, GNU stroke Ramaphosa and them white liberal interests in terms of the NWO agenda on earth. So if you are going to want to personalize this matter, or go wow, what a blind Christian you are. I'd like to say Christians are supposed to have called for the removal of the ANC and the DA before even 1994, but clearly nithanda ngendlela wrong. Uthando lwenu lu-ungodly. Fana nabazali bethu abadefenda izinto ezi-wrong ezindlini, and then they call that love, ukubekezela nani nani. No. I-ANC yizibozi, babeyibozi from the moment sibamita ngo-1985, some of us sebevele bezibozi. And then there's a lot of attacks that they did to the church, black church. We saw how they purged conservative black pastors, especially in the evangelical church and the Pentecostal church. I believe some of the things that Umsunguli where Assemblies of God is speaking about, attack within the church, but it's too strict, I believe they were sent by the ANC agenda, because we saw the ANC agenda against Zulu pastors and against conservative pastors. Zulu pastors were said to be associated with Inkatha. So, and then the IFP was associated with being counter-revolutionary, because apparently being a revolutionary meant to be against Christianity and Ubuntu values of the country. So the ANC was bringing a new revolution which yes was fighting against apartheid, but not only against apartheid but against also the traditional and Christian virtues of our country. So which is where they were at loggerheads with the IFP, because the IFP at that stage, not today's IFP, today's IFP is the same as the ANC, so hence they are in the GNU as well. But back then, the IFP was advocating conservative values, which define our Christian values and our traditional values, actually. So we saw the purge in the 80s against specific pastors, and we saw the advent of Ramaphosa trained pastors, Ramaphosa, Frank Chikane trained pastors. So they are the ones who run the South African black churches. They are, and they are the ones who made us to close church in 2020. On the other side is the white Christians of the DA. I need not say much about those ones. As in, the less said about whites and their whites, I think the less headache I would have. I think whites are whites. They have decided to be white, so leave them to their whiteness, which is more important than godliness. So imash le ifocusa kumama Mkhwana cha bazalwane, focusana kwi-ANC ne-DA. They are the NWO. They are the organizations which are representing the NWO, which is forcing the world towards the Antichrist. Those are the organizations you are supposed to be saying, remove the ANC and the DA. You're supposed to say that. You should have said that from the 80s. I don't know how Christians voted for the ANC and DA in 1994, because that's what you did. White Christians voted for the wicked Progressive Federal Party, advocating ungodly policies which were exactly similar to the policies of the ANC, such that if you looked at those policies in 1994, there was little difference between the PFP, which is today is DA, and the ANC. They were just one in the same organization, except the ANC is black, the DA is white, and then the ANC also ngokuthi ibinama communists within SACP, and then the socialist part of the ANC. But the greater ANC was always aligned with the DA. I'm sure they were being trained. I'm like, the ANC believes in white professors, so I'm sure it is. They consult with the DA's professors, so it is they who actually do their researches and therefore inform their policies. The policies of the ANC, ANC yabo Thabo Mbeki nabo Ramaphosa, ANC yabo Thabo Mbeki nabo Ramaphosa, into eyodwa ne-DA kaHelen Zille nabo Tony Leon. People who do not believe in God. You have never heard Helen Zille even mentioning God. All right, abazalwane bavotela bo Helen Zille. Because South Africa. Anyway, masa sithi sishaqiswa i-hypocrisy yamajuda, hayi besingakababoni abantu base-South Africa. Sesize sababona. Bekuzoba-ke well kusase-New Testament lesi kuyona, so sisabhala imibhalo yeBhayibhili. Wow, sesihlangane nama-hypocrites. Yeni bo. So ngithi-ke mina-ke cha nje yekelani defende i-ANC yena eniyithandayo lapho koPitoli, bazalwane be-ANC enizivalise amasonto ngo-2021, nathi we must obey the government isanikhuza. Nasikhuthela amavesi samangala ukuthi mani wakhutha kanjalo, why ningakhumbuli ukuthi uShadrach noMeshach no-Abednego, they rebelled against the empire of the greatest king Nebuchadnezzar. They rebelled and did not bow to isithixo leso. It was government law ukuthi everybody must bow. They did not. So you're telling us we must close the churches in 2020 because the government so, and then you're quoting for us ukuthi uNkulunkulu uthe we must honor our leaders. Obunyoka eniyibona. Hey, hayi nangempela-ke bangani baka-Cyril Ramaphosa nazivalisa amasonto, and then kaze nixoliseke ukuze kube namhlanje nalawo ama-7 point plan 7 points enu awukuprove ukuthi siyahlanya thina masithi lento kuyi-vaccine inobu antichrist enani sifakele wona ku-Rainbow FM. So nina-ke siyanibongela mature Christians akithi thina-ke asihlaniphile. So it's fine. I don't want to fight about these things. I'm just saying just right, remove the ANC and the DA, remove the GNU. But yeah, I endorse and encourage the march, but I'm just saying to other Christians abangaphathwanga ubu ANC nobu DA, cha bhala nje ukuthi remove the ANC, remove the DA. Yabona laba bona-ke ba-right bayi-removela uThoko Mkhwanazi, benza ngathi ababona ukuthi the whole thing is the agenda of the ANC-DA. Bale constitution eyanikezwa uRulf Meyer no-Cyril Ramaphosa ukuthi bablokhe ama-interest ama-Black South Africans. I-IFP yangalesi sikhathi yabona ukuthi udodi lofakwayo yathi yarebella, bayibribe njengama-last minute, yangena kuma-elections. Mase udlula ku-1994 inkatha-ke seyiphethwe abantu abanganandaba nezinto ezisasayinwa ngo-1994 for the IFP to participate in those elections. Kwayithulela nje kwayiqhubekela kwangathi akwenzakanga lutho, but amaZulu abulawa eShell House and nobody cares. So those are things that we saw happening towards 1994, which were exactly challenging the constitution which was being brought by the Europeans who are behind it, on passing it through Cyril Ramaphosa and Rolf Meyer, which is the same constitution which has cost 70% Black South Africans, or rather 70% Zulus. So I look at also things which are happening to my Zulu nation. South Africa is not a nation. We are a country with different nations. My nation is the Zulu nation. 70% of Zulus are very poor, are in poverty. 64% Black South Africans are in poverty. But abantu bethu be-GNU ba-protecta ama-interest ama-whites. Think about it. Kodwa iBhayibheli lithe we must take care of the poor. We are busy fighting for abantu aba-rich. Asithi thina faka kuyiso abantu aba-rich, but akukwazi uku-prioritize abantu aba-rich kulanjwa and punish the poor, you know, which is what you guys are doing. You're punishing us, the poor. Ngihlala la mina. This is me. Ngihlala la. I'm not untidy. Storeroom la. Tried to keep it tidy, but it's tough. So this is me. So ngithi ke ambani ni support imash bazalwane nani nifakela awena amabhana. It is exactly a political matter. So I call for the removal of the ANC and the DA. I-albatross yabo is too much on our backs. Susani labantu. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Thank you.